Salutations all, I'm Jockey, I'm here with my kitten Jaina, and today the time has come to play Kirby's Dream Land for the Nintendo Game Boy. Not the best Game Boy game ever made, but certainly a great title nevertheless. It's also the debut of one of Nintendo's longest running mascots, Kirby. And this game, I believe, was made by Masahiro Sakurai, the same person you may know as the creator of Super Smash Bros. But let's go ahead and let's get into this. Stage 1, Green Greens. So Kirby was made to be a game that everybody could enjoy. So it's very easy, it's simple, you jump, you move, and you inhale enemies and spit them back out, or swallow them. And that's what doing the B button does. You also have the ability to fly by hitting up on the D-pad, something that's not very common for most platformers of the time. Again, to make it easier for most people. These are the health potions. Unlike most platformers where you usually die in one hit or something, Kirby, you have a health bar. I believe that's 6 ticks down there. So it's a very forgiving little game you can enjoy. It's only 6 stages, so it's very short. It's simple. You can enjoy it if you'd like. This is this nice cutscene here of Kirby riding on the star all the way to this boss here. The mini-boss, actually, rather. Very simple mini-boss. He just throws bombs. You spit him back at him. I guess it's a way to teach you how the mechanics work, since you can't leave until you beat him. But Kirby's Dream Land was the debut of this guy for the Nintendo Game Boy. I believe it said 1992 was the year on the title screen. The Game Boy was released in in 89, so it wasn't like platformers were exactly uncommon on the system. There was still Super Mario Land, and I believe Super Mario Land 2 came out just a year after this. Oh, and this is of course teaching you how to fly. And once you do fly, go into flight mode, you then can spit out another puff of air at enemies like that. And that can be used as a projectile, just like spitting other enemies back at each other. And the mechanic almost reminds me of Super Mario Bros. 2, where you use enemies as a projectile to hit other enemies. Kinda reminds me of that, I'm not sure. Kirby's animation is very nice. In fact, if you look at Super Mario Land 2 at the time, a lot of the sprites in that game were very small, very minimalistic. But Kirby and all of the enemies in this game look very detailed and well animated. They look good for Game Boy standards. Here we have the first boss of the game, Wispy Woods, who's pathetically easy. He shoots those little projectiles and then he drops apples. Of course, as we learned, you can swallow these things and spit them back out, so that's all you gotta do, really. And that's the boss. He's pretty pathetically easy, but, you know. And at the end, we grab this double star thing, and Kirby multiplies and does a dance. Castle Low Low Low. Now, if there's one thing... Oh, I love the animations at the beginning of each level, by the way. If there's one thing I've grown to appreciate about this game is the soundtrack. Oh, and what's this? Just like most things, we can swallow this, but if we spit it back out, instead of being a projectile, it's a screen nuke. That's essentially all the microphone does. Pretty good. I like it. That's just some health. The Castle Low 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 is the second stage, and it introduces a lot of these items where you can suck them up and they do an interesting different thing when they spit out. Like that bomb, for example, has a slightly bigger hitbox when you spit it out. Oh dear, and these things are just like the Phantos from Super Mario Bros. 2. I don't know why I keep drawing parallels to that game, but oh well. And in terms of the swimming controls, Kirby is very poorly developed in this game. You can tell this is just the first go at it, and in every other later Kirby game they would improve upon this. And if there's something you think is missing from this Kirby game, you're of course thinking of the copy ability. We won't get that until Kirby's Adventure, so hold tight. That lollipop is a invincibility power-up similar to Mario's star. It's pretty good, I mean, I don't know if there's a speed boost at all, but it does make you invincible for a short amount of time and gives you a theme. And we have a mini-boss here that's, this guy just pushing blocks out of doors. There's not much to it, really, and he slowly goes back. That's your opportunity to hit him. And that's that. We can go through it. Oh. I believe we were supposed to go through the doors, but I guess we can just wait it out. Now, there are a couple of interesting stories about this game's development. Two in particular, in my opinion. One is that the developers didn't exactly know what color Kirby was. Oh, we got a power-up. We got the curry that allows us to shoot fire. I actually like it more than invincibility just because it's fun, and I like the music that it gives us. But, nobody knew what color Kirby was supposed to be. Masahiro Sakurai wanted him to be pink ever since the beginning. And of course, he was the creator of the game, so he got the final say, and that's the color Kirby officially is now. But, at first, people thought he was white, and that's why, of course, in this game he looks white because it's a Game Boy game. But on the official North American box art, Kirby is white. It's interesting. And I believe that was a costume that was used in Super Smash Bros. Oh, we have a boss fight here. Now, you may notice these guys are very similar to the mini-boss we faced. That's because, well, it's the same person, just with his friend now. I forget these bosses' names. I believe it's Lololo and La 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 or something. I believe that's why the stage name is Castle Lololo. Alright, we got one of them. And that's that. And they have to teleport us to another room to grab the double star, because it would be a bit finicky to grab it in that room with all the floors. Could have potentially spawned inside of a block. I believe Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Kirby to be yellow as well. It was just a lot of not knowing what Kirby was supposed to be. Oh dear. You right there, Kirby? Anyway, another interesting story is Kirby's name. He actually got it from an American lawyer named John Kirby, who defended Nintendo in a lawsuit against Universal, who was suing them because Donkey Kong was similar to King Kong. And so I guess that was just their way of thanking him. Plus they just wanted a simple name, and Kirby sounded simple worldwide. They wanted also one that would appeal to North American audience. I believe his first, his name they planned at first was like Po-Po-Po or something along those lines. Just not something you expect from an American mascot, like Mario or Sonic, or very much names that... I don't know where I'm going with this. But in the meantime, there was one other development story that's the most intriguing to me, is what this game was developed for. It was developed for... I forget what it was. I believe it was like a Famicom system of some sort that used a trackball as the controller. So they had to write code and create sprites and level design using a trackball. They had a layout that they would put on screen, and then they would roll the trackball cursor over to those things, click on them, and then place them in the level or continue clicking and do other things. And that was how they made this game. And all of a sudden, it's rather impressive that they have a whopping 6 levels. Or is it 5? I might be thinking of Castlevania. They have so few levels is the point. Because one that was a door. Especially considering, like, how, as I said, how good the animation is and how good the music is, given the short period of time, the really small space they had on the system itself. Like, I believe it was like, I don't remember, put it right here, how little the cartridge size was. So all of a sudden, being short and having poor swimming controls doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world anymore. Here we have a 1-up and a potion. And 1-ups, I mean, you very rarely die in this game. As you can clearly see, I haven't died yet. So 1-ups don't really mean all that much unless you're playing on the harder difficulty, which you unlock after beating the game. Though something that's nice about the harder difficulty after beating this game is that you get it, and then... Well, you beat the game, and then it tells you how to unlock the harder difficulty, meaning once you know that code, you can do the harder difficulty anytime you like. And suddenly we're in the clouds. Oh, and this is the leaf power-up, which allows you unlimited flight and projectiles, which we're gonna need for this boss here. I don't remember his name, because he's, like, never used again in the series. We get the music, because of course we have a special power-up. Oh dear, he hit me. And we almost got him. There we are. And we're gonna fly into the little star, double star, do the dance, and move on.